We're back for part 2. EST Afternoons. We had a little power outage there. We got it sorted out pretty quick here. Shout out to Joaquin and Coop for getting us back here. Apologies for that. So hit that thumbs up once again. We'll get to Derek Van Diest here in a couple minutes as he's just joining in as well. But man, we were having such a great conversation. Something that will never go on air. I don't even remember. I just know it's great. Oh, boy. 1:45 here. William Huff Studios. EST Afternoons. Joaquin, Gage, Hernan, Salas, Zach Hyman. Once again, apologies for that power outage we had. Just the whole room went dark. And we were like, uh-oh.
Yeah, it was funny because obviously, are you scared of the dark?
No.
Oh, it just sounded like it was a kind of a light scream, not like a little person scream, but power.
Well, because you were having such a great take that I did. Now no one's ever going to be able to hear that. That's happened to us a few times.
Yeah. Well, some things are best left unsaid. You know.
We were talking Oilers. I know that, but let me know when DVD's good. Coop Nation, and we'll get to our good pal from NHL.com. KD, here I am blaming the work internet the whole time. No.
That's what we should say. We should just come back and just start talking. Yeah. And everyone will just think it's their own stuff.
Yeah. Get it figured out. Yeah. You remember that guy, he worked in taxi back in the day. And he would do his show back in the day, and he would purposely make it blurry so people thought it was in their homes. Andy
Kaufman.
Yeah, that was crazy. Let's get to DVD. Derek Van Diest from NHL.com as he joins us now. Derek, how you doing, my friend?
Good. How are you guys doing today?
Good. Where are you right now? At the arena?
At the arena. The Buffalo Sabres are just hitting the ice, so I'm going to stick around and talk to some Buffalo players.
Yeah, it's
playing in Buffalo and asking them if the Bills are going to win this weekend.
It's too bad McLeod's on the IR for this one. Yeah. I know a lot of fans are excited to see him return, but he will not be in the lineup. But DVD, let's just go back quickly to last night's game. A very impressive 6-2 win, a good bounce back for the Edmonton Oilers. They were the best team from start to finish. Corey Perry was at his absolute best, just kind of annoying the Vancouver Canucks all night long. But what did you make of that game, which was one of their better games of the season?
Yeah, it was. And it wasn't literally Corey Perry's first rodeo. And I just love the fact that there was a scrum behind the net and Perry goes, hey, look, Quinn Hughes is here. So let me just grab him and wrestle him to the ice and see how the Vancouver fan base likes their star player getting manhandled, which they didn't like very much at all, did they? Like the shoes on the other foot, they didn't like it very much at all when their star guy got manhandled. But no, I thought they played really well. But I think that was indicative of how bad the Canucks have fallen, how far they have fallen. Yeah. They looked terrible. Like they did not have any jump. They didn't have any pushback. They made it 5-2. But outside of that, like they just, Pettersson was invisible. Miller was invisible. Besser got a goal, but until that point, he was invisible. Demko couldn't make the big save when they needed to. Like it was just, you got to wonder what's going to happen in Vancouver. They can't just keep going in this direction. I think they got 3 wins in their last 14 games. And, Rick Tocchet, who I admire, I love Rick Tocchet. He just seems so exasperated. He's like, he doesn't have answers. Like, I don't know what to do. Like he's yelled and screamed and kicked at these guys. But yeah, but outside of that, like I thought the Oilers were really good. They were fired up for this rematch. Yeah. They're all upset at what happened in Vancouver. They don't like the situation either. They're all mad at the league. I'm surprised anyone's talking to me in that room, to be honest with you, for me working in the league. I'm surprised I haven't just said, go away. But no, it was a good bounce back performance. And you love Corey Perry. You love to have him on your team for situations like that. And like I said, I watched that replay of the scrum 3 or 4 times. And when he turns around and he sees that it's Quinn Hughes right in front of him, he dropped whoever he had and ended up grabbing Quinn Hughes and wrestling him to the ice. So, that's what he brings to you. That's what he brings to this team, and that's why he's loved in that dressing room.
Derek, staying with the Canucks here, I was thinking that maybe they could if they could somehow pull things together, get a playoff spot, maybe that would, turn the page of everything that's happened on their season so far, the internal struggle that seems to be in that dressing room. In your mind, do you think that they have to do something now rather than wait and see if this thing kind of heals on its own?
Yeah, I think they do. And I think, honestly, I do think that JT Miller situation has become a huge distraction for the team. And I know it's been a rift in the dressing room, and he's obviously not getting along with Pettersson, and Pettersson's not playing well because of it. And it's just, you got to deal with it. Like, unless you're willing to break this season off and say, okay, we'll deal with it in the offseason where maybe we can get more for him. It's got to be a situation. And you looked at it on Saturday, everyone's like, oh, they're pulling him out of the lineup because there's a trade to the Rangers. And yeah, it's just a mess in that room, and it's dysfunctional. And you've been in NHL locker rooms, Gager. I can't see that working out. I can't see it sorting itself out. And then the guys are looking for answers, and something's got to give, I think. And they got to make a change, or else they're just going to give up on the season. But that to me, that dressing room is in that locker room is not harmonious. There's issues going on in there, and I think they're trying to address them, but it doesn't look to me like they're the harmonious unit that maybe they were last year. Winning solves a lot of problems, but when you're losing, those problems are compounded. And I that's what I see in the Canucks room right now, is that they got a lot of issues, and Quinn Hughes is playing his butt off, and he's trying to do whatever he can for this team. He's having a great year, but they're not giving him much support. And I think they have to address that.
DVD, Leon Draisaitl just continues to have a great season. Might be his best yet. He's been elite and great when McDavid's in, but when he's out, he's taken it to another level. I mean, this guy has 5 100-point seasons, and we're talking already this might be his best season yet. He might surpass all those numbers. What are you seeing from Leon, man? Because just when you think these guys have kind of not peaked, but you're like, man, they're just great, and they're not going to get any better than what we've seen so far. And this guy just keeps getting better and better and better.
Yeah, well, he's in his prime, right? He's just reaching his prime at 28 years old, 28, 29, 30. That's when you're in your prime, and so he's in his prime years right now. And it's funny because you still hear that stupid narrative. Oh, McDavid is out, so Draisaitl's not going to be able to do anything. I was like, do you not see the numbers? When McDavid is out, Draisaitl elevates his game.
Yeah.
He's been doing it for 10 years. Like, it's ridiculous that narrative is still out there from some fans and some people, and it's absolutely ridiculous. He just elevates that game, and it shows you one that he, if needed to, he can drive his own team. Like, that's how good he is. They all talk about Edmonton as 1 and 1A centers. They have the 2 best players in the game, and he's showing that. And he's in his prime. He's big. He's strong. He's working hard. And yeah, you can see why the Oilers made the commitment they made to him, and they gave him that contract, because he's a world class player, and he's going to be a world class player for a lot of years. And so I think, I think it just when McDavid's not in the lineup, obviously the spotlight's on Draisaitl to do it, and he relishes in it. He's like, I'll be the number one guy. Yeah, I'd love to be the number one guy. He's been that way for his country for however many years. And so, he doesn't mind, obviously taking a step back for McDavid. But when McDavid's not in lineup, he loves getting up there and carrying the team. And I'm not surprised, because we've seen it for the last decade here that he's done that. So it's going to be fun to watch him the rest of this year, next year, and beyond. Because him and McDavid, they're both approaching their prime time years. And I grew up watching Wayne play, and Wayne was approaching his prime, won a Stanley Cup, and then left. So that was hard for Oilers fans Wayne left when he was 28. So these two guys are going to be around for a while. So I think it's going to be really fun to be Oilers fans for the next few years around here.
Derek, how important is it? And maybe it's not so much with the maturity level of this team, but obviously they have one more game to go, and the Oilers have played two really good games, even though there's a loss in one. How important is it for these guys to know that they can win hockey games without Connor McDavid in the lineup?
Yeah, I think it's very important, because you're going to go through stretches where your star player is not going to be there, and whether it's through injury or suspension. And he's a repeat offender now, right? So next time something happens, they're going to look back, and now he's a 2-time suspended player. So if that plays any part of it. So, but it's refreshing and reassuring to know that when McDavid's out, no one's going to replace Connor McDavid, but when McDavid's out of the lineup, this team, the guys that they're going to get elevated positions, they're going to play in spots that they normally don't. Jeff Skinner, for example. He got a lot of power play time. He had a lot of good looks. I thought he played really well despite the fact that he couldn't convert some of his chances. Hyman got a bit more ice time. And so you're seeing guys get a bit more ice time and get a bit more opportunity. And I think that's the main thing that Chris Knobloch says is when you get that opportunity, you have to try and make the most of it because it doesn't come around very often. And so I think guys look at that. They don't look at it, oh, Connor's out of the lineup, we're in trouble. They look at it, Connor's out of the lineup, we got to pick up our game. And I think that's something that's really, really important. And it's really big on this team is that you have guys that won't pout when their star's out of the lineup. Instead, they'll kind of, get their backs up and say, okay, well, we can win without them.
Derek Van Diest from NHL.com joining us here on EST Afternoons. Looking ahead to tomorrow's afternoon tilt with the Buffalo Sabres. It's one of those games where it kind of concerns the fans because we've seen the Oilers drop games to teams that are at the bottom of the standings. This Buffalo team it's so up and down at times. They picked up an impressive win in Vancouver. They were in until the third yesterday in Calgary, but this is a team the Oilers cannot take lightly, right, Derek?
No, they got skill, and this is a team that's for how many years have we been saying, okay, this is the year in Buffalo, this is the year in Buffalo, this is the year where they finally put everything together. How many first overall picks they get, and high draft picks, and it just hasn't happened. And they were so close last year. They played so well for Spurs last year. They were so close, and you think, okay, there's no way this team goes back. Now this is the year. And they still can't figure it out in Buffalo. I feel bad for those fans. They got great fans. They got a great fan base in Buffalo, great hockey base, and they just can't get it together. Yeah. And you got to wonder what's going on there. Why can't they figure it out? Why can't they get it together when they got these great players, these great draft picks, these high-end guys, and for whatever reason they can't put it all together. So, you hope that eventually they'll figure it out, but eventually it just hasn't come. It's been a long time in Buffalo since, for that rebuild. It's been we're on year 13, year 14, whatever it is. It's just got to get it together and you got to figure it out. And it's unfortunate because I think they do have a lot of skill on that team. They do have some really, really good players, some high-end players, but they're not putting it together. And so, and you're right. When you have a team like that coming to town, that should be better in the standings, they're always dangerous. And it's an afternoon game. There's no morning skate. You come to the rink, you play the game, and, the Oilers traditionally aren't great in afternoon games. I love Saturday afternoon games. I wish they all were at Saturday afternoon. Just show up, watch the game, and then move on. But, we'll see what happens with this hockey team tomorrow. It's one of those trap games, and they won't have McDavid in it. So I think that might be actually a good thing. So they won't be leaning on McDavid. They know they have to come and bring the same effort that they did against the Canucks.
And I know you haven't spoken with them. They're just about to hit the ice, but I mean, Buffalo's in another case where are they looking to change their lineup? Like they have three major pieces on D that would be beneficial to, I think, any teams with Byron Power and Dahlin. Like, do you foresee them possibly moving or making some changes to this lineup before the trade deadline, or are they just? Do you think they're going to stand pat with what they've got and try to keep building?
Well, I think they kind of have to, don't you? Like you gotta get a signal that you are trying to make a change here. They traded for Bowen Byram last year, and there's another high-end defenseman. You got three high-end guys on your back end. But you're lacking scoring ability. You're having trouble scoring. So you go out and get a guy that can help you in that regard. They let Jeff Skinner walk. Obviously, he wasn't working out. But yeah, you think something's got to change. You just can't. Like we're talking about Vancouver and hoping that things just automatically change and they just keep going status quo. And the famous quote is the definition of insanity is doing something the same, hoping for a different result. So that's what we got here with these two teams is it's not working. Whatever you're doing right now, it's not working. So you have to make something else work. And they do have some pieces that they can move and move around. And you hate to say, okay, well, time's running out on this year. Like, are you in or are you out? And then if you're out, then you have to figure out, okay, maybe next year will be the year. It's something has to give. For this organization. And I think, they're going to have to look long and hard and say, we have three studs at the back end, and maybe we have to move one of those guys to get get someone up front, get some help up front.
DVD, great stuff like always. Enjoy the game tomorrow. And since your nickname is DVD, Derek, starting next week when we have you on, you got to give us a one-liner from the movie, and me and Gage will try to guess, all right?
Oh, that sounds great. Yeah, I'm a bit of a movie buff, so yeah, I can come up with
and
that.
Make it really, really hard. So don't give us any softballs. All right, buddy. Enjoy the game tomorrow. We'll see you soon.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me on, guys.
All right. That's Derek Van Diest from NHL.com joining us here on EST Afternoon. That does it for hour one. We had a little power outage there in between, and we apologize for that, but we're back and running nice. We'll combine the thumbs up, 47 on the first part. Right now we're at 28 on the second part. Keep hammering the thumbs up, please. And thank you. The portion of this hour brought to you by the Canadian Brewhouse. Host your team or league fundraiser at the Canadian Brewhouse for a chance to win $2,500 with tons of options to choose from. The Canadian Brewhouse can help you raise funds for your crew. Details in store or online at the CanadianBrewhouse.com. Coming up in the second hour, we'll continue to tee up Oilers Sabres for tomorrow. They cannot take them lightly, Gager. There's always that fear. Buffalo has had some recent success here in Edmonton, and it's always that dreaded afternoon game, which the Oilers have been a lot better in the last couple of years. And Edmonton Elks defensive lineman Jonathan Kongbo at 220. That's all coming up here on EST Afternoons. Joaquin, Gage, Hernan, Salas, and here's our guy Zach with your sports update.
Make a fresh start in the new year with Sentinel Storage. With convenient locations near you, Sentinel Storage is here to help you make space for everything 2024 holds. Sentinel Storage. Shop Canadian, store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free. Visit sentinelstorage.ca.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
How do you beat those winter blues? How about a double shot of classic rock? River Cree Resort and Casino and K97 proudly present Helix and Sweet. February 28th, live in the venue. Helix and Sweet. Get your tickets now at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Hockey lives at the Canadian Brewhouse. Every Oilers game day, get $1 off tankards of Molson Canadian and Coors Light. Plus, you can win game tickets and a surf and turf dinner for two at the end of the season. Full details at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
How do you beat those winter blues? How about a double shot of classic rock? River Cree Resort and Casino and K97 proudly present Helix and Sweet. February 28th, live in the venue. Helix and Sweet. Get your tickets now at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
A light NHL slate has Tampa Bay out in Chicago, Dallas hosting Vegas, the Flyers taking on the Islanders, while the Jets meet the Hockey Club. And out east, the Devils will miss Jacob Markstrom for up to 6 weeks after he suffered an MCL sprain Wednesday night, and the injury makes Markstrom questionable for the upcoming Four Nations face-off. And for the Leafs, Matthew Nyes is out day-to-day with an upper body injury, while in the AHL, the Belleville Senators have signed former Oilers Sam Gagner to professional tryout. Back in Edmonton, the Oil Kings hit the ice against the Warriors. The Cougars face the Wheat Kings, and Kelowna plays Kamloops. And in NFL news, the Raiders have signed longtime Seahawks head coach Pete Carroll to a 3-year deal with a 4th-year option available. In Houston, Bobby Slowick, Texans offensive coordinator, has been fired, while Jacksonville named Liam Cohen as their newest head coach. On the court, Cleveland takes on Philly. The Pelicans tip off against the Grizzlies, and the Trailblazers butt heads with the Hornets on a light 3-game NBA slate. The second hour of EST Afternoon starts right now. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
Welcome back to Edmonton Sports Talk. It is EST Afternoons. Joaquin, Gage, Hernan, Salas, Zach Kubish in the house. Reminder at 3 o'clock, it's the one and only Reed Wilkins with the very handsome Jay Milne. They'll take you right up until 6. They'll have Jed Roberts on, the legendary green and gold player, special teams ace. He'll join them. He's always a great conversation. So keep it locked here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Reminder that tomorrow, 1 o'clock, it's the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show as the Oilers get set to take on the Sabres. We're coming to you live from the William Huff Studios here in the west end of the city. Hit us up on the nasty chat. Give us a thumbs up. Hit us up on the River Cree inbox, 780-218-9999. In about 13 minutes or so, we'll be joined by Jonathan Kongbo, the newest member of the Edmonton Elks defensive lineman who didn't play last year.
Yep.
So we'll find out how that year away from the game went and why he joined the green and gold. And we'll maybe see if he's got NFL picks coming up, Gager, because it's going to be a fun weekend. And Jeff Skinner playing his former team. You think he's motivated?
I don't know. I just looked at the buyout that he just got. I don't know. I'd be quite happy with these guys right now.
That's a good point. Yeah.
No, I mean, you always want to show up your former team. I mean, this is a bad example, but you looked at last night with Vinny Deronay. He was
trying to do too much,
trying to do a little bit too much, right, and make a difference. So, he's going to want to score against it. There's a lot of guys that he spent a lot of time with over there. It's always weird playing your former team because you've built relationships with these guys, and then you go to war with them. I remember when I got traded to Prince Albert from Portland last year. We went to Portland, and I remember there was a delayed penalty in the period in the first period, and I skated to the bench. I went to the Portland bench. I was like, geez. I had to get back and
sorry, guys.
Well, I didn't go in. I was like close to it. Yeah. And I go, geez, I'm going the wrong way here. This is weird.
Well, he spent 6 years there. I mean, they were all rough years, but he got a very high contract. Healthy contract. And like you said, his buyout, he's going to be making a lot of money.
Yeah, he's
for a lot of years.
He'll be set.
And, it made Hernan's cold heart happy yesterday to see him on the power play.
Yeah, no, you could see there's something there with him. He looked a little
snake bitten yesterday.
Well, I was going to say jittery.
Okay, that too.
Because when I've seen Skinner in the past, he's kind of smooth. You know, he's quite slick. It seems like it all comes natural. Right now, it seems like he's a Commodore 64 right now. I'm trying to connect to the internet. He's glitchy.
It's almost like I want to make this opportunity count. So you're almost trying to like,
it's not flowing for him. Like it's where usually, and what was the goal that he scored? Was it against the Kraken where he made that really sweet move? And it was just like forehand, backhand, got in on the goalie, roofed it from a bad angle. It just looked really natural. Yeah. That's when you know that Jeff Skinner's feeling it.
And he had some really, really good looks.
Yeah, right in front too. Good saves, like the one.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I mean, that always seems to be the issue too. If I look back to even Zach Hyman at the beginning of the year when he seemed a little bit snake bitten, goalies were making pretty good saves on him too.
I think we get a highly motivated Jeff Skinner tomorrow. I truly do. I think it's going to be one of those games where he's like, yeah, you know, a lot of people think I was overpaid and I didn't do much for this team. Sure enough, yeah, I guess when you get that kind of ticket, you expect a little bit more, but I think he's going to be motivated. And I think Chris Knobloch knows how to read it because he led the stretch today, former team. You know how to do that.
Yeah.
I think Chris Knobloch's going to push the right buttons tomorrow and get this guy on the ice as much as he can.
Yeah, and then, I mean, this is the last game before Daddy comes home, so to speak, right? You want to get that last W before Connor McDavid gets back in the lineup. Last chance to show, or maybe not show so much, but you saw how Coach Knobloch was adjusting his line combinations without Connor, right?
Yeah.
And last night, everyone took advantage of a little bit more ice time, just like DVD said, right? So just another opportunity to get into the good books of the coaching staff, knowing that he can rely upon you in certain situations.
I like that. Daddy's coming home. I quickly want to switch gears. So F1 announced today something kind of cool. They're going to be, they've unveiled a collection featuring several F1 team cars on Hot Wheels. Like, it's cool. I'm going to get you one. Unfortunately, they don't have Ferrari, but I know you're a McLaren guy.
Yeah.
And the McLaren car looks awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Like in the Hot Wheels. Pretty cool little thing. I know people are already complaining. They look cheap. It's Hot Wheels, man. What are you expecting?
Well, did you see the ones I brought in today? The other Red Bulls?
Yeah. Those are nice.
Yeah.
So I think they're like, I was looking online, I think they're like $8 a piece. That's not bad.
No.
It'd be nice to collect these. Hot Wheels are awesome. Very intrigued by it. And I think on our Twitter F1 group, I think someone posted them there. But I just love the look of the cars, man. And you have a nice little shelf. You can kind of put them there. And
I got to, so I realized this and I meant to mention it the other day. I believe it's in Cars 3, the Disney Pixar movie. I think there's for the Ferrari team, Charles Leclerc is actually a voice in the movie for the Ferrari car.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got to watch it. That might be my weekend viewing of a movie to see if
it's true.
If it's true.
Are you selecting a team, or are you just kind of like a fan of drivers and different? Like, are you kind of going to commit to a team?
Jeez, I was thinking about this last night. I don't know. I think I have to now. You know, I have to commit, and I wouldn't say I'm a Lewis fan, but there's a part of me that wants to see him
do well,
win 8.
Yeah,
that, like, if that makes sense. I don't know why. And after the last few days of seeing Ferrari and the lore, there was that little snippet from Ferrari that they put out with Lewis got into the old Ferrari car and went for some laps, and they asked how was it over the radio, and just a childish giggle from Lewis going, "Oh, it was great, man." Like, you got to imagine, remember, this Ferrari's it's the pinnacle when they're kids driving for Ferrari. So here he is finally wearing red after all this time and testing in a Ferrari for the first. It was pretty cool, man.
Yeah,
I might have to cheer for Ferrari.
Okay, so when I got into
Reed.
When I got into F1, I went to Mercedes because I like the colors, the gear, and I like Lewis because I didn't know anyone outside of Lewis up until then. now Lewis has moved on, but I still feel like, because I like George Russell.
George is good.
Yeah, and I like Lando though too. Like those are my two. Like, and obviously Lewis because he's a legend and all that. And I like George even more because he's feuding with Max Verstappen. But I think, because people always ask you, how did you become a Niners fan? How did you become, whatever, a Bulls fan? For me, I can honestly say it's the colors of Mercedes that I like.
Okay.
Yeah, like I love it, right? And I'm a big Lewis guy, but I think I got to stick with Mercedes. Now, there's not anyone I dislike outside of Verstappen. Like I don't even dislike Red Bull. And now I have a soft spot because I just finished Adrian Newey's book for Aston Martin. And I love their gear.
Oh, I like Alonso too. It's hard, man.
Yeah.
It's hard. I have committal issues with my F1. That's so I don't know. I'm a little promiscuous with my teams.
Oh man.
But no, I'm leaning towards Ferrari because you know what? It was so stupid. I was envisioning myself on Sundays like cheering for a team, like and getting all because I love watching it, but I can't imagine getting fully into like wanting a guy to win or battling and getting
like
mad.
being upset that someone lost, right?
Yeah.
Double A says Gagers already knows he looks good in orange.
Oh yeah, well I got probably my favorite hoodie is the McLaren hoodie,
the green one. That one's top notch.
It is so nice.
Bronco Nick says, "Come over, Gager, Forza."
Yeah, I might jump in with the Tifosi here. It's we'll see.
I just think it's better watching when you actually like a team or like a driver. Like I think you get even more invested because Van Owen says, I've gone the other way. I haven't had a favorite driver since Jacques Villeneuve and prefer instead to watch an exciting race. I do like to see Ferrari win though, although I'm not a Hamilton fan. Okay,
that's understandable. But yeah, I got into it just for the draw. Like the cars are cool. I can't believe these athletes are probably aside from maybe football players, maybe it's equal, but they're probably the most famous athletes on the planet, I would say, like all around. Like they go to every corner of the world, right?
And just look, they finished in December this season. And look, has Lewis had any time off? Because he's doing all this promotional work with Ferrari.
The commitments of the drivers, right? For the sponsors and things.
I mean, they're paid.
They're paid okay. But remember do you remember Gunther Steiner? Like he was doing like photo shoots and little toy wooden boats for Haas, and just swearing because of it. Oh gosh.
Okay, so let us know here. We got about 40 minutes left on the show. How do you go about picking your motorsports team? Because it can be Indy, NASCAR, it can be anything you want. Obviously F1. Because I lean towards Mercedes because of their colors and their gear, and I like Lewis Hamilton. But he left now. But I still think I'm like loyal to Mercedes.
Wow.
Gager, you're like, you said you're kind of all over the place, like, because you like Piastri.
I probably was leaning more towards McLaren, but Lando kind of made me upset a little bit this year. Like I was getting upset with how he was speaking, and I mean they're all they're funny when they lose. Every driver is, but no, I'm just watching all the stuff with Ferrari. I'm kind of leaning red.
Okay. And I like the Mercedes as a rookie too.
Yeah.
Right. So let's say he does really well. You can build with him and all that. Again, I have a soft spot for Lando. I don't know why Lando grew on me ever since Drive to Survive. I always have a soft spot also for like the teams that are not very good. I feel bad for them. But like you said, Aston Martin, I love Alonso. And now that Adrian Newey's there, it's just Lance Stroll's holding me back. I'm going all in on that team.
It's tough to say a Canadian's holding you back from that team. Oh. But you know, I had a soft spot for Lando for a long time because I believe it was the last race in Russia where he made the call to stay out. Yeah. And he was like, it was going to be his first victory, and it started raining, and the other cars started reeling him in, and like 4 laps to go, he went off and finished like 8th after. It was just heart-wrenching to see, because I was pumped. I wanted to see him win his first race.
All right, we'll get to. I'm seeing a lot of F1 texts coming into the River Cree inbox and on the Nasty chat. We'll get to those in the next segment following Elks defensive lineman Jonathan Kongbo. We'll have a quick conversation with him. Get to know him a bit here. He took the year off last year, but he's high draft pick. He's been part of 2 Grey Cups already. So and he had a stint in the NFL as well. So a very interesting player for the Double E, and we'll get to know him next, and we'll continue the F1 talk following Jonathan Kongbo. The afternoon inbox is presented by the River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the Tap 25 restaurant, where the entire menu is 50% off 7 days a week from 2 to 5 p.m. Up next, we talk some Elks here on EST Afternoons. Here's our guy, Coob, with your sports update.
4 games dot the NHL slate with Utah on the road in Winnipeg. The Stars facing the Golden Knights, Flyers battling the Islanders, and the Blackhawks challenging the Lightning. And in New Jersey, Jacob Markstrom is out 4 to 6 weeks after suffering an MCL sprain Wednesday night, making him doubtful for the Four Nations face-off. Elsewhere, former Oiler Sam Gagner signed a professional tryout with the Belleville Senators of the AHL. Meanwhile, the Oil Kings play the Warriors. Lethbridge hosts Red Deer, while the Blades drop the puck against the Raiders on a 9-game WHL slate. And down south, longtime Seahawks head coach Pete Carroll has signed with the Raiders on a 3-year deal, having a 4th-year option on the contract. And for the Texans, offensive coordinator Bobby Slowick has been relieved of his duties, while the Jags have hired Liam Cohen as their next head coach. In basketball, there's just 3 games with the Cavs throwing it down against the 76ers, New Orleans visiting Memphis, and the Trailblazers taking on the Hornets. This sports update is brought to you by Gimme Virtual Golf. Whether you're looking for a casual round or a serious game, Gimme Virtual Golf has membership and flex passes to fit your style, with premium members getting complimentary winter bag storage. Gimme Virtual Golf, where innovation meets the game. Find out more at gimmevirtualgolf.ca. Jonathan Kongbo joins us on the other side of the break here on EST Afternoons. I'm Zachary Kubish.
Get all the latest news and takes on everything Oilers with Dustin Nielsen and Tom Gazzola on the Oil Stream. Live at noon, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Hockey lives at the Canadian Brew House. Every Oilers game day, get $1 off tankards of Molson Canadian and Coors Light. Plus, you can win game tickets and a surf and turf dinner for 2 at the end of the season. Full details at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Got some gently used furniture or home goods that need a new home? Find Edmonton is here to help. Every month we furnish over 100 homes to those transitioning out of homelessness, and we need your gently used furniture and home goods. Drop off at 5120 122nd Street or call for free local pickup. Just visit findedmonton.com to learn how your donations can help create a home for someone in need. Plus shop our thrift store, in-store or online, with proceeds benefit those moving out of homelessness through housing supports. Visit us at findedmonton.com. Find Edmonton, supporting our community one home at a time.
.24. Welcome back to EST Afternoons. Close out the week. Big game tomorrow. Oilers Sabres 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock for the Oil Stream pregame show. We say hello to the Winnipeggers, the Hustlerites, the WSTers. How you doing, Winnipeggers?
What's happening?
How you doing? How you feel about Andrew Harris joining the Riders?
Ooh, how did that game go last night?
Did the Jets play last night?
I thought they played the Avalanche. Sorry. There was too much going on with
No, that was 2 nights ago, and they won in overtime, didn't
Okay.
they? Yeah. I think the illegal curve boys were on were on
Okay.
location.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. Hey, if you just joined us, make sure to slam that thumbs up. It'd be pretty cool if we can hit 100 on our part 2 of our show, because we had a little power outage in hour 1, so we were off the grid for about 5-6 minutes, Gager, but we returned better than ever. And once again, another great Gager take that will never be aired.
Yeah,
ever.
I wish I remember what I said.
Darth Skater says, Corey Perry, third period. I had to laugh. Then he says, so Winnipeg plays Utah tonight.
Okay.
And Pionk scored the OT winner against the Avs.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
The kid's got a bomb, man.
Good player, man.
Yeah.
He plays well against McDavid.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
How about this? How about the Oilers and the Jets meet in the Western Conference Finals, and it would be an all-out war?
Yeah,
If we survived Vancouver, we can survive Winnipeg.
I don't know. But it'll be tough. It'll be a tough few days on here with
Hustler.
Yeah, those will be good. Those will be good battles.
All right, let's get to our big guest today, and it's Edmonton Elks defensive lineman Jonathan Kongbo, who joins us here on EST Afternoons. Jonathan, how you doing today?
I'm doing really well. How you guys doing over there?
Good. We're good. Excited to see you in town when training camp rolls around. Let's just get to it, Jonathan. Why the green and gold? Why was it the right choice for you for this upcoming season?
I think honestly, after I took some time and spoke to GM Ed Harvey and head coach Killam, you could just see the fire in their eyes. You could hear it in their voice. They really meant and believed the change that they would come do in Edmonton. So after talking to them, it kind of made it a clear choice. And the reviews they've gotten from players that played for them in the past, and I personally worked under Ed in the past, and I just knew it was a fit that was good for me.
Jonathan, what is it like just last year having the year off, going into this year? How do you refocus? Is it more of a fresh start? You mentioned coming to the Edmonton Elks, where you hear there's all this excitement. Has that really got your juices flowing to get to camp and starting to get at it?
Yeah, I think honestly, it's plenty of things, and especially this last year, taking this year off. It kind of gave me a different love and appreciation for the game. You know, it's like when you're a kid watching all your friends play outside and you can go outside.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the feeling for me. But honestly, it allowed me to really find myself. It gave me time to step back and really assess what was important for me. And I think that's what's got me so excited about this opportunity, because not one, it's a fresh start, but it's also with a great group of men. So for me, just moving forward, it just made it really easy. It was a no-brainer.
Jonathan, for Edmonton Elks fans that don't know much about you, what kind of player are you? What kind of skill sets are you going to bring to the Double E?
I love the game. I'm tenacious. I play with a nonstop motor. I play with violence behind my hands. I think, talk is cheap, and, I can get on here in, January, and say, this is the type of player I am. But I think for all the Elk fans out there listening, it's just, I'm going to show it. So come around camp. We'd love to see you guys there, and all the friends and family out for practices and preseason and the season. And that's really where Elk fans are going to discover who Jonathan Kongbo is.
Jonathan, defensive lineman preparing for the season, can you kind of give us a glimpse into what that training kind of looks like? Are you in discussions with the defensive coordinator, or do you talk to potential future teammates about what type of defense you want to be, what kind of structure you want to implement at the start of training camp? What's your process like at the beginning of the season?
Beginning of the season. So right now we're January, right? And training camp, I believe, is May 11th. So I actually had a call with Coach Sherritt and Coach Maxey, the defensive coordinator and the defensive line coach, respectively. And they kind of just laid out the vision of what kind of defense that they were looking for and kind of how they saw that I fit in it. And just kind of right now it's a little bit early in the offseason, so just building a relationship, building a rapport, because at the end of the day, it's like whenever you're leading a group of men, it's the great leaders that can lay out their vision and the men believe in it. Mm-hmm. Those are the ones that have success. So that's kind of the stage that we're at right now. As far as for me personally, I'm waking up early, 5 a.m. regiments, lift, working. Obviously, I've been away from the game for a year, so I got a little bit of rest and knock off. So it's just been gearing myself slowly. So come May time, I'm optimal.
Jonathan Kongbo, Edmonton Elks defensive lineman, joining us here on EST Afternoons. Jonathan, from the outside looking in, the Elks quarterback, Trey Ford, I mean, the fans absolutely love him here in this city. He's a very exciting player. He's still fairly young, though, but you've been in the league now since 2019. What do you see from Trey Ford, and are you as excited as the fans to be a teammate of his?
I'm excited. Just from a fan perspective, I've played Trey in the past. He's an incredible talent. He has an incredible arm, which is one thing that I felt like he deserved a little bit more respect earlier for, but I'm definitely excited for him that he's finally getting his opportunity to show what he can do. But when I tell you that with a full offseason, with the coaches that we have in now, I believe really we're going to see the best ball out of Trey. I know personally when I played him in the past, I hated playing him because you got to watch him on the ground and he could throw it too. So yeah, we all seen what he did last year.
No, for sure. And you know what, looking up and it's on Wikipedia, and it says you went to high school in Kitsilano. My co-host here, Joaquin, is from those parts. Is that correct there, Jonathan?
Yeah, man, Kitsilano High. Yeah, and I finished off at Holy Cross. But yeah, I was at Kitsilano for a little bit.
Wow, so just right beside the Mariloma Club there.
Oh yeah,
yeah. That's
right. Oh yeah, you know the area.
Well, I used to ride my bike there. That's where. Where I was born on the ice right there too.
Oh yeah.
That's great. That's great. Well, we'll have to reminisce over sometime this season. Jonathan, I can't let you go without asking my betting account's dwindling here. I need some help this weekend in the NFL, buddy. Who do you got? Who's going to be in the Super Bowl in a few weeks' time here?
Oh, you putting me on the spot. Man, I would have to say I have to go with the Bills.
Yes, okay, that's good. That's good news. Yeah.
I have to go with the Bills. I see them winning it through. I think it's time that Josh Allen finally gets his ring.
Breaks through, yeah, no, for sure. And you had a stint there in the NFL as well with the Denver Broncos. Can you just talk about how that went for you?
Yeah, the Denver Broncos was honestly a great opportunity. I was there for a season. It was kind of a little bit of a rocky season, but nonetheless, the opportunity to play at that level was definitely one that I would cherish moving forward. But to be absolutely honest with you, let's not get it twisted now. The 3-down game is a lot funner to play. My fond memories. Yeah. If I ask a lot of players that have played both in Canadian football and American football, they'll tell you Canadian football is a lot more fun to play. So although I enjoyed my time in that league, I'm excited for this next year in this league and really leaving my mark on the game.
Jonathan, that's music to our ears. We're big CFL guys. We love the NFL, but it doesn't have the excitement and, like you said, the fun that the CFL brings every week. Jonathan, this has been great interview. I look forward to meeting you in May, and all the best this upcoming season.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me on the show today.
All right, that's Edmonton Elks defensive lineman Jonathan Kongbo. That was good, man.
Can't wait, man.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, he might get a bump. We didn't tell him. I don't want to tell him.
No.
Sometimes you come on the show
and you
usually the next week results in what, like 8-9 tackles and maybe a half a sack.
And he's a Kitsilano guy.
What's not to love?
I mean, and I love what he said about he got his mind right, he got his body right. I love that he said the CFL game is way better. It's great. I really enjoyed that interview.
See, I had to throw something in there just to make sure
Okay.
So once he goes, oh, you knew that? I go, yeah. So he knew exactly. The Mariloma Club. So the high school's here. The Mariloma Club is like a rugby club.
Okay.
Right there. And that's where I had to go pick my dad up a lot from. My mom would say, hey, dinner's ready. My dad be drinking beers with all the softball guys. But I saw one guy, scariest guy in my life. His name was Sully. I think I've told this before. But there was once a summer they had this big, huge rugby tournament. It's a big field and there's rugby games. But Sully would eat a live cod. A lot, like he would take it out of a bucket and eat this thing live. And have you ever seen a cod? Like it's got spines. And he would eat this whole thing, like suck its eyeballs out. Rugby players are crazy, but and he would chase me around this field and say he wanted to kill me or eat me. I was scared to death of this guy.
Oh, that's too. I like how there's like a code. Like, are you really from Kitsilano? That's good. That's good. He passed the test. Oh, for sure. Doc Dad says, cannot wait for kickoff. Great interview. Tyler and Terwilliger Elks are going to be a wagon this year. Yeah, we'll have to have him on again. He was awesome.
Yeah.
Bronco Nick says, I like Kitsilano Beach, lively and peaceful at the same time.
Yeah, you should try Wreck Beach. True measure of a man.
True measure of the man. Shout out to our Curry there with the Elks for hooking that one up. That was a great conversation. Probably put up a little clip of Jonathan as well. He brought the heat. Let's get back to our F1 discussion. How do you become a fan? Martin says, ever since Schumacher battled Jacques Villeneuve, I cannot cheer for Ferrari. Jason Linduke says, I have Ferrari, Mercedes, and Red Bull remote control racers. I set up an oval on my garage floor and watch them F out.
No way.
Yeah. Is that how you pick your team, though? Deaky Sparks says, still listening. Favorite show. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Let's see here. There's tons on the good old nasty chat here. Let me just scroll back here, Gager.
Yeah, I mean, for anyone listening that is thinking about why are these guys talking about auto racing? Like, look, I was in your shoes. But
yeah, me too, man.
It was that Drive to Survive series. I put that up against any sports documentary. It sucks you in, and I think I watched a couple seasons, and then in a few days, and the race was coming up that weekend, and I watched the race, and I was blown away. Just everything that went into the weekend was crazy to me.
But I also think, Gager, because like obviously growing up in Canada, hockey, footballs are number one. I'd always see Formula One, and I just never understood it. And I never because there was no one around me in my life was into it.
Yeah.
So like none of my friends, like, your parents or uncles or cousins. So it was really hard to get into it. But I always heard Jacques Villeneuve's name, Paul Tracy. Like you heard about it, but you're just like, I don't know. It's just cars going around. But then you get a show like Drive to Survive that breaks it down for you, and then it's not just going round and round. Well, some are, like NASCAR and all that, but there's so much more into it, right? Like the feuds between the two teammates. Like you'd think they'd be together, and sometimes they are, but like a lot of times they're competing against each other. There's just so much of the little things, the details that we didn't know that now it makes us fans.
Yeah, there's so many intricacies of this sport that go into it every single weekend. Look, now that we're reading the Adrian Newey book, like it's just crazy, right? But I mean, it's weird that I didn't, because it's always been around. You always heard of the greatest athletes of my time. Obviously, Michael Jordan. Yeah, you would say Schumacher. Those were the two big dogs. On the planet. And I mean, I remember when I was playing hockey in Germany, Ralf Schumacher, Michael's brother, I mean, they both have them, but Ralph had all these karting tracks all over Germany. And we had one in my town. It was the Ausüben. And we would go there and just race karts in this. And it was awesome. And it's funny because I never really thought I'd like it, but I mean, most of the German guys, they were all into it. They would watch it all the time.
In Chile, man, I've been there a lot. I remember going in my teens, and we went to a party, and everybody there was so into F1, and for the life of me, I couldn't understand it. But because Chile, Argentina, Brazil, they've had great drivers. Like, you know what I mean? And it's huge in those countries, and I never understood it. But like you said, now, like there's constructors points, there's racer points, like, and just the whole lead up to practice qualifying. Now you have sprints involved.
Who's going to get the seat? Is he going to keep his seat?
Like the off season is just as exciting.
Well, yeah, they call it in that usually summer breaks the silly season, because then that's a driver will sign with another team. You know, which is crazy.
It's awesome. Like, I'm all in. And I'm truly going to give Indy a chance this year. I already got the schedule. I'm going to see. I'm getting that book that Van Owen recommended. It's called The Indy Split. I've heard it's got amazing reviews. So it's good to kind of get into it and learn the history of it from what I've read. Old School Nasty says, for me, I became a McLaren fan because of Kimi Räikkönen. I remember watching... And thinking, I remember watching 04 or 05 Monaco race, and the car broke on him in like the first few laps. A little while later during the race, Kimi's having drinks in the hot tub on a yacht. I briefly cheer for Ferrari when Kimi went.
Yeah, they show him walking across the track and just getting on a yacht and just sitting there drinking afterwards.
And it seems like he wasn't media friendly. He was very introvert.
Oh, yeah. There's one guy you'd like to hang out with on an afternoon, I think. Maybe just once, but
because there was another Finnish racer before him, and in Newy's book it says they both had the same personality.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like really quiet.
Well,
moody.
Racing's a huge part of Finnish culture too. Like the rally cart and stuff, and I think even Timu raced in rally cart for a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool. Atif, our good buddy, says, hey guys, if I was to start an F1 team, I would actually call it Mellow Yellow. That was a sponsor name way back when. I remember those Mellow Yellow cars.
Wasn't that Cole Trickle's car? Days of Thunder?
It could have been.
Tom Cruise? Wasn't he in the Mellow Yellow? I don't know.
That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I'm really enjoying the F1 talk. When the season's full goal, guys, get ready for it, because we're going to talk a lot about it. And our good buddy, Tim Hernan. We're also looking for more. That's the problem in North America. There's like the media is very small, right? Because most of them are from England and over on the other side of the.
What about your contacts in Chile?
yeah, they can't speak English.
Well, we'll have subtitles.
Well, they might. Yeah, they might. I don't know that.
Let's get some subtitles on there.
Yeah,
AI it.
You're going to have to do the subtitles, man. You're going to have to do the subtitles. All right. Keep the messages coming into the River Cree inbox, 780-218-9999. And also, of course, on the Nasty Chat portions of this hour, brought to you by the Canadian Brew House. Host your Team or League fundraiser at the Canadian Brew House for a chance to win $2,500 with tons of options to choose from. The Canadian Brew House can help you raise funds for your crew. Details in store or online at thecanadianbrewhouse.com. Up next, we'll wrap up the week here on EST Afternoons and get you set for Reed and Jay coming up at 3. Here's Zach with your sports update.
On the ice, Philly hits the road in Long Island. The hockey club battle the Jets. Chicago hosts Tampa Bay, and the Stars face off against the Golden Knights. And for the Devils, Jacob Markstrom is out 4 to 6 weeks after sustaining an MCL sprain after Justin Brazeau of the Bruins crashed into his net on Wednesday. And staying out east, Sam Gagner has signed a professional tryout with the Senators of the AHL, while Toronto's Matthew Knies is listed as day-to-day after he collided with Kirill Marchenko of the Blue Jackets on Wednesday. And in Edmonton, the Oil Kings face the Warriors. Medicine Hat takes on Spokane, while the Americans play the Winter Hawks. And the NFL sees longtime Seahawks coach Pete Carroll becoming the head coach of the Raiders. The Texans fired offensive coordinator Bobby Slowick, while the Jags have named Liam Cohen as their next head coach. And there's just 3 games in the association, having New Orleans challenging Memphis, Cavs and 76ers tipping off, while the Trailblazers throw down against the Hornets. This sports update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated, serving Leduc and surrounding areas since '93. They sell doors, flooring, baseboards, and of course, they got plywood. Go see the knowledgeable staff today at Windsor Plywood Leduc. The final segment of EST Afternoons brings us back on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you in the loop.
How about a double shot of classic rock? River Cree Resort and Casino and K97 proudly present Helix and Sweet. February 28th, live in the venue. Helix and Suite. Get your tickets now at rivercreekresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Make a fresh start in the new year with Sentinel Storage. With convenient locations near you, Sentinel Storage is here to help you make space for everything 2024 holds. Sentinel Storage. Shop Canadian, store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free. Visit sentinelstorage.ca.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
2:46. Welcome back to EST Afternoons here on this Friday afternoon. Joaquin, Gage, Hernan, Salas with you, along with our producer Zach Hyman in the house. 51 thumbs up. Got about 10 minutes to go here. Can we get to 100? It's part 2 though, right? Because we had a little power issue and we cut out for about 5-6 minutes earlier on, but. Great stuff on the show. Jonathan Kongbo from the Edmonton Elks. If you missed it, make sure to check out his interview. He was great. He's going to be a hit here with the media.
I think so.
And on the field, too. Good
if
player.
he hits as hard as his interviews, look out.
Zing. Quickly, sounds like Pete Carroll's going to join the Las Vegas Raiders. Well, no, it is happening. Good for him. I love Pete Carroll. The energy that man has is contagious.
Do you think Brady had anything to do with this?
Could be.
Didn't he go to California? Where did Brady go to school?
Yeah, I think he did.
Did he have Carroll as a coach?
I don't think so. No.
Or was it before Carroll?
I think Tom Brady is a California guy.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Huh.
And Sam Gagner, he's going to a PTO with the Belleville Senators.
Belleville Senators.
They're minor. The Sens minors.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He still wants to play.
Jeez.
You've done enough, Sammy. Enjoy retirement.
Why are you playing here though? Why not go to Switzerland, play 50 games, and live in the Alps or something? Because he can. I think he played over there during the one lockout.
Yeah. And he could still play significant minutes down with his skill set. No.
No.
Like not even like.
No, I don't think. This is the thing. I would go to Europe, bigger ice. You don't get those young guys running around trying to kill you. Go to Europe and play in a. I don't want to say less intense, but just I think that would suit his skill set a lot more. Because he's a skilled player, right? Yeah. He can use his brain a little bit more. Lots more room for him to do his thing instead of just a little shoebox.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would, whatever. What do I know?
Bronco Nick says Brady went to Michigan. No. But I think he's like, he grew up.
Oh, yeah. Brady was in Michigan. I should know that. I'm an idiot.
He grew
Sorry.
up in
he grew up in Cali.
Yeah. Gager, when does Strive to Survive new season come out?
I think it's the third week of February is when it does come out, because usually it's right before testing. So I'll have to check on that. But I thought I read that that's when it does come out.
Spency 5 cents. He says, watch the Senna documentary if you're hesitant. I'm on episode 3. It is fantastic.
Yeah, but is he talking about the Netflix show or the actual doc?
Yeah,
the doc's great.
I gotta watch the doc.
Yeah.
I'm watching the show. The guy's a good actor, man. I love it.
Yeah,
he's great. Van Owen says, watch the 96 Monaco Grand Prix. Unpredictable, entertaining, and Murray Walker was at the top of his game. This one says, yes, Tom Cruise in Mellow Yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But wasn't that about NASCAR? Wasn't that NASCAR?
Days of Thunder. But he came over from open wheel racing, I think.
I've never seen that movie.
No?
No.
It's a good. Tom Cruise doesn't put a bad movie out there.
No, he doesn't. Brent says, going to an Indy race makes all the difference, but they are very interactive if you get a paddock pass. So cool to get up close and talk with the crew and drivers. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I was, when the Molson Indy was in Vancouver, I'd have pit passes all the time. You just cruise around in there.
Yeah.
So you could basically stand right next to the car.
Just stand there.
Yeah.
Bronco Nick says, fell in love with Ferrari when Michele Alboreto and Gerard Berger started racing together in 1987. They were bad, but it was the Italian team. Williams was huge then. Yeah, Williams was huge, enormous. I like the owner of, because when you get further in the book, he was set in his ways, the old man.
I wonder how Williams is going to do this year. They got good drivers. Albon and Carlos
Sainz, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good team, man.
It is.
And that Williams car hasn't been awful, too. So that's another thing that really intrigues me. How does Carlos look in that car? Because Carlos is a good driver.
But and that's the thing, right? Like, because when you have a machine like Red Bull does and like the top teams, like obviously you have to be an elite of the elite drivers. But I'm always intrigued when those drivers go to a lower team.
Yeah.
They have a lesser car for the most part, right? Like they can't compete, but you can still be in the top 10 eventually, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, look what Fernando did with Aston Martin car that was on the cusp.
Yeah.
Like he was podium every weekend. That's how good he is. Give him something good. That's why this Adrian Newey in 2 years. Because does Fernando have one more year on his deal?
I think so, yeah.
So I'm fascinated to see if he stays for one more year, or
it'd be crappy if he left when Adrian Newey's gonna.
Yeah, that's got to make him want to stay a little bit, because even Newey said, "I'm looking forward to working with Fernando." Right,
Yeah.
and when he said that years ago, I was like, or last year, I was like, well, whatever. Oh, you're working with a driver. How much does that make sense? But after reading some of his book, now I'm like, oh, okay, so. Like some of the best feedback you get as, a race designer and things like that is the feedback that you do get from the driver, even with all the equipment that they have.
Yeah, no, it's true. And they're making, Brad Pitt's making a new F1 movie, right?
Yeah, it's out in June. We'll go to that together.
Yeah, that's got to be an EST thing, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we'll rent out a whole theater. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. Dusty, just put that on your radar for next week's meeting.
Yes.
That's my idea for F1.
It's a team outing to go watch the Brad Pitt movie.
Van Owen says, don't forget that Stroll won a pole in that car and finished on the podium.
Oh, yeah.
In Baku.
Not last year, though. Yeah, 2 years ago.
2 years ago?
Yeah.
Spency 5 cents. He says the show was pretty good. Also, the doc has some awesome old footage. VR says Nicole Kidman was great in Days.
She was great in there.
And then Big Mako does say he's Brady's from California. Pete Carroll coached at USC, so it's kind of a
USC.
bond.
Yeah, sorry, I was like, I completely blacked out there. Because I think it was the Enigma. Was he at Cal? I think.
I don't know. Max Bezuzu says top 3 worst Tom Cruise movies: Valkyrie, Legend, The Mummy.
Valkyrie. What was Valkyrie?
I remember that one.
Really?
Yeah.
Legend was good. It's kind of weird.
Vanilla Sky is terrible.
That was neat, though. He was sleeping.
Yeah, it was it's weird.
It was weird.
Yeah. You have to watch it like twice to like, what the hell did I just watch?
Yeah, it's
77 thumbs up. Let's at least get to 80 because it is part 2. It's missing 40 minutes, obviously. You can catch the first 40 minutes on our other stream as well. So just 3 more. Hit that thumbs up. Van Owen says, are we organizing a watch party for Australia this year? Starts Saturday evening. Ooh. That'd be cool.
First weekend of March? No, March. March 11th?
It's around there, yeah. It's like mid-March. Yeah.
So, Australia. Maybe we just go.
EST trip. That would be great. It's been a fun show. Lots of Oilers, of course. They're coming off crushing the Canucks 6-2 in every fashion there. We'll see what happens with those Vancouver Canucks. They're in tough tomorrow as well. They'll host the Washington Capitals. Things might get just a little uglier there in Vancouver. Sabres tomorrow. Jeff Skinner against his old team. I'm expecting a big game. I'm expecting him to remain on the power play, and I'm going to call it right now. He gets a goal tomorrow against his former team.
Oh, that's always a good.
For sure.
Because if McLeod was playing, he'd score against the Oilers.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, that's probably the easily sprinkling of money on a bet in the history of betting, but he's out. He's on the IR. We'll be on tomorrow at 1 with the GCL Oil Stream pregame show, obviously followed by the postgame show after the game is done down there at Rogers Place. Reed Wilkins, Jay Milne coming up. They'll have Jed Roberts like they do every week. An absolute beauty, legend, Double E. Big shout out to Derek Van Diest for joining us once again. And Jonathan Kongbo from the Edmonton Elks was an awesome interview. Thank you for the week. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for the downloads. We truly appreciate it. We'll be back Monday. It will be on Oilers game day, and we'll recap the NFL. Oh, picks. I'm going Bills Commanders.
Oh, it's unfortunately it's Chiefs, Eagles.
All right. For Zach Kubish and Joaquin Gage, I'm Hernan Salas. Thank you for tuning in all week. Stay tuned for Reed Wilkins and Jay Milne. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the game. We'll chat on Monday. Ciao for now.